Today, what Smash Brothers character best represents your job? Beej already called Jigglypuff. This is ChillPoint.
I didn't realize we were getting quizzed today. I'm not prepared for that, Paul.
I was thinking for me, I was thinking Pokemon trainer. Like he stands behind the field and just throws out stuff, just makes other people do his thing. That's the tech way.
See, the thing is, I don't know if Dr. Mario's actually in Smash as a playable character.
Oh no?
I can't remember. There's so many of them, Paul.
There's a lot of characters in Smash.
There's too many.
I agree.
I
agree.
And Beach picked a really good one, and I'm gonna tell you why. Jigglypuff is a performer. They sing. They have in the anime. They have a little microphone that is also a marker because they sing people to sleep. It's what that move does, and they get mad and they draw faces on people for falling asleep.
Right.
So it's a good one.
I mean, Jigglypuff also just has a special move where they go to sleep. Right?
I think it's Snorlax you're thinking of.
No, Jigglypuff just goes to I thought Jigglypuff just went to sleep. Anyway. And makes other people go to sleep, I think. I don't know.
I'm going to go with the piranha plant because I think the tiny feet in the little pot plant is really cute. And essentially,
nice.
I'm nothing but a plant that sits in front of a computer with sharp teeth.
And occasionally just devours things.
Yeah.
If they annoy you too much. Yeah. If a YouTube comment gets a little too close to the piranha plant,
yeah.
Smash Brothers Jiggly head rest. Yeah.
Okay.
See
again. I don't Smash. I'm not good at Smash.
I remember just as a kid, I used to play Kirby all the time because I thought Kirby was cool and you could eat people, which was fun. And then I played. And then I somebody else grabbed Kirby and I grabbed Jigglypuff. And I didn't quite know what the difference was. And then I was just special. I was punch, kick. Okay, cool. Special move. She went asleep. She fell asleep. And I was like, the hell kind of a special move is that? This is the fight we're in right now. Why are you sleeping?
Have you ever taken Kirby on the edge and accidentally turned him into a brick so he just goes bumbling down? Because I have.
Yeah. I mean, Isabelle is in Smash as well now, right?
Yes. And Isabelle's a really good one too, because she's an organizer and generally in charge of a lot of paperwork and things. So
and then also punches people if necessary.
Yeah, Isabelle would be a good one. We got Joker. Joker's in Smash, and right. I know not too many of us do thieving, but the whole point of Persona 5 is to change people's hearts, and so I feel like any one of us could take that one.
Yeah, I suppose so. Although you got to be careful if you're saying Joker. Technically speaking, the Batman Joker also changes people's hearts. Just in a
different Joker, yeah.
Slightly different way.
Makes people smile whether they want to or not.
Anyway, hey everybody. Welcome to ChillPoint, show where we talk about video games and video game news. And we also talk about CheckPoint, which went up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/loadingreadyrun last night. Where we talked about some that's the CheckPoint is the condensed super precision written content that is our video game news show, and this is the more relaxed, just chatting part of video game news, where we give you some of the background info on, and maybe some of the more details on the stories that we did do on CheckPoint. And then we also talk about some of the stories that didn't make it into the episode, either because we couldn't think of anything funny about them, or we had other stories, or as is the case, annoyingly this week, they came out like either this morning or like there's a
so much news
there's
between yesterday and today.
a bunch of
What
news
the
that
heck?
happened like Thursday afternoon, Friday morning to this week, which is very annoying. It's like people don't know what our production schedule is like, and
Yeah,
they don't
it's-
sculpt the news cycle around that. It's very frustrating.
Yes. And I definitely have a very important piece of news that is not in our checkpoint document, but needs to be reported on, Paul.
All right, lay it on
And
me.
that's the new characters revealed for Super Monkey Ball. There's
Ooh.
3 of them. They're all Sega consoles.
The actual console?
Yes. You can fly around as a Dreamcast inside the ball.
So it's just a Dreamcast in a ball?
Sega Genesis, and I can't remember what the third one is. Probably a Sega Saturn or something. But this, as far as I'm concerned, means that those systems are sentient, and particularly in the Dreamcast's case, is going to get revenge on you if you still have one because of how terrible it was treated.
I mean, the Dreamcast is thinking, right? That's its thing. It's thinking. Wasn't that the Dreamcast?
I don't know. I never had one. I wanted one. I thought they looked super cool.
For a sec, I thought it was going to be like the personification of the consoles from the like Neptunia games.
That would be fantastic.
Like super deformed chibi versions of like it's just like there are already people, the guy from Yakuza is in it, so like regular people being in Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, they put Morgana from Persona 5 in there too, which is the cat. Which I really appreciate, because most of the screenshots I've seen of Morgana in that ball are the ball like up in the air and the cat being like, "Why am I here?" And I'm like, this seems much more likely how I would react to being in a ball playing this game.
It's like what would happen if you put a cat in, a large hamster ball. It's not happy. Excellent. Well, actually, we can jump to other video game character announcement news, because in Fortnite, there's everyone asked for it, and now they're finally going to do it. They're going to put Sky. Wait, what's the person's name?
No, Windwalker?
Windwalker Echo. They're finally
Yeah.
going to put Windwalker Echo after the legions of fans were demanding Windwalker Echo in Fortnite. They have now put Windwalker Echo in Fortnite. And for those of you who don't know, Windwalker Echo is the name that they have just actually released. Previously, this person didn't have a name because it was just the person in the Unreal 5 tech demo that came out last year.
Which means they should just make that game now, right?
Apparently, I mean, the game
that's how this works, right?
The game looked kind of cool. Yeah, so I mean, and still no Waluigi, They're like, it feels like they're going down the like they're got to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, like unnamed character from tech demo. I'm hoping
if they
the next
if
person
they manage if they manage a Nintendo character in Fortnite, I don't know what will happen at that point. The world might explode.
I feel like the next one is going to be like the intern that tested the mocap suit. It's just like guy who was walking by the studio one day.
We have a list of things. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What is the least amount of money? Well, we did make this character for this demo once. Excellent. Push it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. She looks super cool, but I do kind of I really wanted this story to be like, hey, Fortnite's doing this thing. Also, they're doing it because they're releasing the game that they tech demoed and they've made
No.
it into something neat. And I'm like, oh, it's not that. It's
I believe they are doing
Fortnite.
another tech demo with the same with Windwalker Echo. Weird name.
Well, I mean,
It's a very like
maybe. I don't know much about the world she comes from.
I
That
mean
could be
nobody
like
does.
super common.
She comes from like weird tech demo world. Does her world exist outside the like square area where she got her tech demo done in? Who knows? There's so many
She
questions.
if she's the only character in that tech demo, she's about to make a whole bunch of new friends. And maybe enemies, because then they're probably all going to shoot at her. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Is she like emotionally equipped for this? Like all we've seen her able to do is like, climb rocks and go through caves and stuff. She could although she could like fly, I guess, sort of. She did some cool flying stuff at the end of the tech demo, which is I guess the Windwalker part. It's a very like Hideo Kojima name, Windwalker Echo. It's like what does this mean something? I don't know. Maybe.
it's the kind of name I would have given a D&D character.
Oh man. That's who the chat was saying just green screen suit beige, but actually just that they could totally I wouldn't put it past them to do, and that would actually be awesome. Be like mocap suit and just have like this. It's like a green outfit with like the ping pong balls on it. That would be awesome. Like that would be
Yeah,
hilarious. And I could
they could
totally
do
like
that.
it's nowhere near the most ridiculous thing that they have in there already.
Yeah, Fortnite gonna Fortnite.
Anyway, so
Wish they changed their name to be spelt the way that I want to spell it.
it does make searching a little tricky. So yeah, if you want to wear the skin of a tech demo, now you will be able to. All right.
What's next?
In other news, let's get this out of the way. So, John Gibson, the former CEO of Tripwire Interactive, he did a. So this was big news early in the week that he tweeted out a thing in support of the Texas anti-abortion law. And or in support of the Supreme Court for doing nothing about the Texas anti-abortion law, and the response from both the community at large and also the people, the companies working with Tripwire Interactive specifically, was fast. So he tweeted this out on, I think, on Sunday.
It was like Saturday or Sunday.
Holiday, Labor Day weekend. An hour later, Shipwright Studios came out with their statement about how they're dropping ties with Tripwire Interactive. An hour later on a holiday weekend. So yeah. And then Torn Banner Studios also cut ties, and then Tripwire. So and then now Tripwire Interactive has now dropped John Gibson, CEO. Presumably, he still has, a controlling stake in the company.
Probably, and probably some influence over it and whatnot as well.
Yeah. So I have to say, while very much do not agree with his thing. And also, by the way, this is a terrible, like, even if you are, whatever, anti-abortion or whatever, you should not be supporting this law. Like, this is a very, very bad. It sets a very.
It's the same law that's like bounty hunting $10,000 on people.
Yeah, it sets a very bad precedent for basically doing an end run around Supreme Court rulings that it's like, well, technically, we're not saying that you can do it. We're not, or the government isn't doing it. We're just saying that, people by their own free will can sue other people for it. It's very bad. And if it stands as a law, it sets a very, very bad precedent for everybody. This is something that could be very easily abused by Democrats as well as Republicans.
Yeah, there's like so much wrong with this bill that oddly the heart of the issue is like one thing, and then there's a million other things on top of it that are also really bad, and it's like,
So,
cool.
so
Cool.
despite all that, I have to say, I have a small amount of respect for John Gibson in the sense that he said this. I took a screenshot of the tweet for the for CheckPoint on Thursday. It's still like he hasn't redacted what he's or rescinded what he says because of the blowback he's got on it. And you know what? If you have a very strongly held opinion that a lot of other people are going to object to, I mean, at least making it public, that way people can make an informed decision as to whether they want to work with you or not. And in this case, a lot of people said they do not. But
I
that's
think it's
better
very
than
good
it
that
being
he showed
secret.
his whole asshole so that I know to stay away from him as a human being ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing that I find really funny, like we keep talking about how, oh, isn't it hilarious? It was Labor Day weekend and thing, whatever. I'm pretty sure he was at PAX when he made that tweet.
Wow.
Because I think they were at PAX, and I'm just like, who has time to do any tweeting that's not like outside of the, hey, I'm at the booth, hey, I'm over here, while you're at PAX?
It's like one of the thing with the person who got on the plane. It's like, oh, I'm just about to go into a panel. I'll just do a quick tweet. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Better put my phone on silent while I'm in this panel. Nothing important could possibly happen in the next hour or so. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Phone explodes in his pocket.
Yeah, I really thought I was watching this thing like unfold in real time because I was on Twitter when it happened and just like, okay, whoa, people are canceling contracts. Good on them.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know whether there's been some. I haven't heard, but it's now that the person has been dropped from or I don't know quite what his status is with Tripwire Interactive. I don't know whether that will then make it so that Torn Banner Studios and Shipwright Studios are prepared to work with them again now. I don't.
Yeah, I am curious to know if the companies that say that they're going through the process of canceling all their contracts will keep doing that, or if they'll be like, okay, you've heard us, we're fine now, or what.
Yeah, I mean, he's co-owner of the company, so it's not like he can be fired, right?
Yeah.
But he can be not involved in day-to-day operations.
Yeah, and at that point, that's where do people draw their lines? In some respects, I kind of hope that if a company has canceled contracts over that this isn't a good enough step, and they would rather work elsewhere. But at the same time, I could understand them repealing that.
So anyway, yeah, that's a whole thing. And I mean, I guess in some ways the other positive, aside from, knowing now that what kind of a person this guy is, the other slightly positive aspect of this is that it is now encouraged a bunch of companies to be more vocal that they do not support this. It's like, just to be clear, we don't agree with this other guy.
Honestly,
we thought it was obvious because this is a terrible law, but
a bunch of people should have learned during Gamergate, because during that process there were a whole bunch of instances where people were like, these people haven't said anything about us, they support us, and then a whole bunch of people were like, whoa, wait, I'm sorry, we have to tell you that we don't. So I feel like that lesson should have been learned a few years ago at this point. But
yeah. Well, it's there's a lot of people do, like, that's the trick with the sort of silent majority, right? Is that depending on who you are and what your own personal beliefs are, you can believe that they're actually secretly on your side. But both sides can believe that, and then you see
Yeah,
how it
my
actually
secret
shakes
is
out.
I'm on nobody's side. I only my side, and it might coincide with your side, but I'm still not on your side.
Our two sides might, you know,
It might
might end up
align,
going in the side. Yeah, might
and I
align
might use that to my advantage,
the
and
two
we might be
sides.
friends for
Yeah,
a little while. But no,
they
nah.
may align temporarily, but who knows? Um, Now let's talk about cool stuff. And I mean, this
Cool
isn't even
stuff.
like new news because this is about something that happened a long time ago, but we've just found out about it now because of interviews. And this is a fun thing. This is a neat thing that's from an interview with Mike Wicken, the former creative director of Retro Studios, the company that made the Metroid Prime games, which obviously there's been a lot of speculation about the new Metroid Prime. And we're talking about crunch, and apparently the first Metroid Prime game was really, really, really bad, as in like 9 months of basically living at the office.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of 48-hour days, multiple 36-hour days. And it's great in the like, this is on a podcast, and in the interview, the interviewer is like 36-hour days. I mean, aren't you just like, how can you operate for that long? He's like, well, you can't, like, you're not doing good work after 36 hours. Let's be
Oh
clear.
no, absolutely not.
And yeah, is it even a 36-hour day? 36 hours at work, I guess. 36-hour day and night and day again. Uh, and they shipped the game, and apparently a large portion of the company was basically planning on leaving
Hmm.
because they couldn't take it. And Nintendo heard about this and basically decided that Retro Studios was worth preserve, they were so happy with Metroid Prime, and they were like, we want to keep Retro Studios. We want Retro Studios to actually continue to be a studio, and the only way that can happen is if we just buy Retro Studios and put somebody we trust in charge to actually run the studio properly so people don't explode or implode or whatever people do when
Yeah,
they
it's
don't sleep for too
explode,
long.
implode, your choice.
Yeah, starts seeing weird things. What happens when you get our sleep deprived? And so they brought in they brought in so they bought the studio. Nintendo bought the studio, brought in a new boss, Mike Kelba, who had been the head of Q&A or QA at Nintendo, which, QA knows a thing or two about how to avoid crunch, or a thing or two about
Well,
how
what
bad
it
crunch
feels
is.
like to be
Yeah.
crunched, I think.
And he came in and said, "Give me a few weeks to turn around," and by gosh, he did. Apparently, according to this interview, anyway, he did. And apparently, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 were produced with very little, if no crunch.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not that familiar with the Metroid Prime games, but from what I understand, they are also very well regarded.
That's what I hear. I've only played a couple of 2D ones at this point.
And
I haven't tried the 3D yet.
yeah, so yeah, there's the slight irony of yeah, the Japanese company coming into the American company and being like, you guys are working too hard, with the sort of stereotypical Japanese work culture. But the it's shows that Nintendo does understand. I mean, Nintendo, it's been around for a long time. They've been around the block a few times. They know that you can't get the best work out of people. And Nintendo, especially Nintendo, sort of specializes in a certain type of, their games tend to be a little more on the creative side, and yeah, they know that I mean, I'm assuming Nintendo works people really hard, but they know where the limit is. So good to know.
It's funny too because like I think what a year or so ago we did a story. Maybe it was almost 2 years ago now. We did a story about Animal Crossing being delayed
Mm.
to avoid crunch, and crunch has been a very hot topic within the last couple of years with certain studios coming out about like, oh, this game gets made as whatever. So it's almost weirdly refreshing to find out a game that was made so long ago had crunch
It's not a
and
new,
somebody
yeah.
was doing about it
It's not a
then
new
rather
thing,
than
yeah.
yeah, rather than now where it's like, oh, we must let everyone know that we don't do crunch because that's
Yeah.
the new buzzword and we
We
want them
just
to like us.
everybody, we just found out about this new thing called crunch. It's very bad, but don't worry, we're stopping it now. If only we had known about it sooner.
There's only one good kind of crunch, and that's crispy crunch. Wait, is that the name of that? That's the proper name of that chocolate bar, right?
Yes.
There.
That'd be a great marketing campaign. So anyway, yeah, it's great. And by the way, Mike Kelbog is still the head of Retro Studios. So I guess whatever he's doing must have worked out okay. So yeah,
It's nice. It's nice to have a positive story.
and yeah, as
once.
Beach says, if you're looking for a solution to your crunch problem, big AAA company, get bought by Nintendo, I guess, is the solution.
That was definitely what he implied. Yes. I don't know how well that works, but that's what he implied.
It's not like a scalable solution, I feel like. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the idea of maybe kicking out and putting in proper management who will defend your employees against crunch is maybe something you can do without having to be bought.
Like it's possible that it's like Nintendo isn't unique about knowing how to avoid crunch. Like they don't have some magic formula. It's just called schedule things so people don't have to work 36 hours at a time.
I mean, it also could be called being a large enough studio that controls their own deadlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that. Yeah.
There's actually other factors.
What was interesting about this is, the timelines for Metroid Prime 2 and 3 didn't they didn't super slip timelines. In fact, they were quite tight timelines. But they were the game. I think it's Metroid Prime. I don't know which one. There's one that has this whole thing with like light and dark, or as like a mechanic. I forget which one. People in the chat will probably tell me. They're saying that one of the reasons Metroid Prime 2. Yes, light and dark mechanic.
Okay, cool.
And so, but one of the reasons they actually used that mechanic, one of the reasons why they used that mechanic was it allowed them to produce the game on a shorter timeline because they were reusing, like they had, you had a room and then you had the room in like light mode and dark mode. And so there was a lot of stuff that was the same between things. And so it's like crunch isn't necessarily extending your timeline. It's, making your timeline fit your scope, right? So it's like, if the idea for the game is too big to fit into the timeline, the solution isn't work harder. The solution is find a different concept for the game.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons we got Majora's Mask as fast as we did after Ocarina of Time. It reuses a whole bunch of assets from the first game.
I mean, it's also like
that is a tactic you can do.
There's only like one day that goes past in Majora's Mask. Like, how hard is that?
3.
3 days, right?
3. If you let it play all the way out, I know sometimes after that first day you get antsy and you're just like, nope, first day back again.
Um,
Watching the moon crash into the planet was not a good idea, but I did it.
let's talk about the PS5. Speaking of things that are not
Right,
available.
this weird thing.
So, obviously, the PS5 is quite supply constrained. I don't know why. It's like certain people are taking too many PS5s when they shouldn't. That doesn't seem like something anybody would do.
Yeah, no one would buy 7 PS5s and only give 2 away, and then have the rest of the crew who actually bought them keep them.
But interestingly enough, actually, there are more PS5s now, like on the market now, than there were like PS4s at the same time. It's not that they're not trying. It's just a lot of people want PS5s, and also
So there's a lot going on.
They can't ramp up production very well because of the whole semiconductor shortage thing that's still working its
Yeah.
way through the system.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's okay. I don't need to get a PS5 until 2023.
one of the big one of the big things that they were like, okay, we're bringing out the PS5, and even if you can't get one, that's okay because you can buy games for your PS4, and then if their launch game, like all the launch games for the PS5, are going to be, you can buy them for PS4 as well, and then you can just get a free upgrade to the PS5 version when you get a PS5.
Yeah.
And that has been happening. The problem is some games, like for instance Horizon Dawn Zero West, Horizon Forbidden Coast,
Forbidden West.
West. I got confused.
It's fine. I keep calling it Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. No, Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Forbidden Dawn, was supposed to be a game in the launch window for, I don't know if it was like a launch game, but it was supposed to be a launch window game for the PS5. It got delayed. And so now we're outside the launch window. And so it's coming out and they're like, yeah, it's not going to be a free upgrade because it's not in the launch window.
It's not part of the things that we promised.
And people are like,
it kind of was.
But when you were talking about the thing, this game was one of the ones you were advertising for the thing. So, also, by the way, this is one of the games that you were advertising as like the PS5, as part of like the PS5 next gen showcase. So wait a minute, so Sony's got this problem with the PS5 is that they keep talking about all the cool technology that the PS5 has, and how that enables things in games that previously were not possible, which is true in some ways, but also that does open up the question of like, so if the game is also coming out for the PS4, what was the part that wasn't possible for the PS4 to do? Did you just cut that part out for the PS4 version, or you're not doing that anymore? What happened to that whole thing? And they've been kind of
graphical.
I mean, it's like, presumably it looks graphically better. I mean, the PS5's got like special memory in it and stuff to make it go stream stuff faster.
Yeah, and then I guess there'd be like the triggers on the controller, which you could probably just turn off.
But anyway,
that's a thing.
So they're like, Horizon Forbidden West, not going to be a free upgrade. You're going to have to pay for it. In fact, you can pay for it by buying the Digital Deluxe, the Collector's Edition, or the Regalia Edition, which will come with both versions of the game. But the Special Edition will not come with both versions of the game.
That's just weird. That one's just weird.
Yeah. And all those editions also come with like art books and little statues and all sorts of crap. Everyone got kind of pissed off about this because they were promised that it would be a thing. And so they're like, so then a couple days later, they released the thing being like, you know what? Sure. We're going to make it free. We're going to make it a free upgrade. And the letter is sort of in as if this sort of magnanimous thing. It's like, because of the high demand, we're going to make it, a free upgrade. And it's like, you did kind of, this would have been like, you kind of promised it. I know, like, just because it got delayed doesn't mean that it's still, anyway. So they're trying to make themselves seem a little bit like,
we're doing this favor for you that
yeah.
we were gonna do once.
They also
and then not.
They also took this opportunity though to say that future games are not going to be crossplay or not going to be free upgrades. They're going to be at least $10 for the upgrade. Also, by the way, if you have a digital edition PS5, because the PS5 came in 2 editions, the digital only and the disc one. You could only do the upgrade if you've got the disc one, because the digital only one you can't put the disc from the PS4 version in to prove that you've got the PS4 version.
Oh, right, yeah, because if you're buying the digital version, it's going to have both versions on it anyway.
I guess maybe, I don't know.
Or something. This is all very confusing.
So it's and also, yeah, actually, by the way, that whole digital deluxe edition, collector's edition, regalia edition thing, that's like going forward, right? Like they've talked about the new God of War game, and I don't know, some other highly anticipated game that's coming out. They have equally confusing like bundling systems with them, but different, right? So it's like this is apparently the new reality. I mean, it's not even that new. This is a system that's been going on for a while. But
yeah,
if you've got a PS4 right now and you're planning on getting a PS5 and want to make sure you have games that will go, you got to do your research. I'm afraid you can't. There's no guarantee that you'll be able to do a straight upgrade. And if you don't want to have to rebuy all your games, you may have to do some research in terms of what version of the game you need to get in order to get the thing to make the thing work.
I'm just gonna buy everything on PS4 while I have it, and then eventually they won't make anything for PS4, and I'll have to get that PS5.
Or you can just go directly to PS6.
I'm working on that. That is an option I'm working on. I'm having a little bit of a problem with my temporal timeline machine, though. And until I can get that fixed, which is really hard to do when there's a chip shortage going on, Paul. You know this.
It's just if you wait long enough.
Oh, I don't do regular time travel like everybody else. I don't.
Yeah, if you do the slow version of time travel, which is just called living. And speaking of living, if you're alive, you can get Oreos.
Or not.
Or maybe you won't be able to because they're secret Oreos. They're special Oreos. They're Oreos in very high demand. We got Pokemon licensed Oreos. They aren't fancy Pokemon Oreos. They're just they're just regular Oreos, but they have different things on the cookie part. Little
biscuit,
Pokemon designs. There's 15 different ones, and they're apparently different rarities. They haven't released what the Oreo loot box odds are yet. And I guess I know maybe they'll have to actually, in certain countries, I know you have to actually release that for blind box things. So I don't know, maybe they will.
I understand that part of the Pokemon games is that there's some Pokemon don't show up in a certain version, they only show up in the other one because they want you to trade with your friends, and there's this whole social aspect, and there's some really weird evolution charts. But we don't need to have rarity cookie designs. Ever. ever.
I think it was in the YouTube comments or something. Somebody or on Twitter or something. Somebody was like, "I can't believe they're just like they didn't even like try to make them like, you know, Pokemon themed like Oreos with like flavoring and stuff." And then, wait, I think I just asked for fish flavored Oreos, which I don't actually want.
You can get there is a Swedish fish Oreo.
That's like
Uh
blue.
I think they're red. I think they're like a bright pink or something. Every now and then I see like a different variety on Twitter. They do not sell them in our area at all.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
Oreos are
so
like the like Kit Kat thing. There's like a billion different varieties in different countries.
yeah, and we should note because we did note this in the story as well. Um, and if you somehow missed this, you should rewatch that story. Person who commented in our YouTubes that the Nabisco is actually has a strike going on right now with its workers. So
Yeah.
if you're you might not want to buy any cookies. It's better for your health, probably overall, to just make your own cookies at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
To be clear, we're
I
not
know.
saying don't eat cookies.
Yeah, I'm not advocating you don't eat cookies. I don't personally even care if you go and buy cookies at all. But it's a thing you might want to know about. It's I personally don't buy Oreos anymore because when I do I eat the whole bag and I shouldn't do that. It's like I got the
I,
thin ones once cuz it was like, "Oh, well then you'll eat less cuz there's like and they're just crispy and more tasty."
I like that that was a
So,
criticism of Oreo, but also kind of a marketing thing for Oreo. Like, Oreo are terrible. When I buy them, I eat the whole bag.
I do. I don't like that. This is a bad. It's a thing I can't not do. Uh, so no, I don't buy them. I hate. I keep hearing about this Hydrox cookie that I guess was like around before Oreos or something in the
Yeah,
states somewhere, and
that Oreo like
I've never
stole the
heard of them.
design for.
But
I don't know.
I'd be curious to try those in a safe
Um,
space with many other people who will eat most of the other cookies for me.
I feel like that space could be arranged. That's like, you know, if we have to put out the call on our Slack, we need people to come to the moon base and eat cookies. It's probably an easier sell than, you know,
We
whatever.
had another Pokemon food related thing, didn't we? I mean, not in CheckPoint, but in
There was a
our
thing,
stories list.
and I saw somebody mention it that Krispy Kreme is also doing a pack of Pokemon themed donuts, which is both more effort than Oreo put in because they're actually like all colorful and nice, but also less effort in the sense that it's like a dozen donuts, but there's only half of them. You get like half a dozen regular donuts, and then half a dozen Pokemon donuts, of which two are like Pikachu. So there's only like five Pokemon designs.
So yeah, Paul, there's this problem with Pokemon. They keep pushing Pikachu, and I say this because I saw like an advent calendar type thing where it's like every day you open a door and you get like a bunch of figurines, like little tiny figurines, and like three of them were just Pikachu, two in different poses, one in the same pose as one of the others, but all metal for some reason, and then a Pichu and a Raichu, which I'm gonna count as part of the Pikachu lineup. And it was just like, I don't know,
Also,
Pikachu overrated.
we don't have we don't have a there's no Krispy Kreme on the island here. I think there's one in
Yeah, there's
Vancouver.
that.
So I've never actually like had Krispy Kreme donuts, but you know, you hear things about them being like amazingly good. Um, but we do have some pretty fancy donut places here in town that are making super tasty donuts. That being said,
You have to get there early though.
a dozen these does this pack of a dozen donuts cost $30.
$30.
Seems like a lot. Maybe my
Trying to
my
think.
my scale for like artisanal donuts is out of whack. But that
I
seems like a
feel like
lot.
if we bought a dozen donuts at the fancy places in town, it would probably cost close to that.
Yeah, I guess like $2 a donut is not that far out. That's Australian dollars too, if that matters. I don't know what that is in kroner.
Isn't that close to our currency generally?
Fairly close, I think. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't know the kroner thing. That's a beach thing.
if you live in Australia, you could get those and let us know how they are. I'm assuming they taste basically like Krispy Kreme donuts, which are good. So good on
Yeah,
you.
you know what? Anytime we
Like, you
do a
can't-
food
you
story,
can't
if
go
you
that
have
bad.
access to that food, you should try it and then leave a comment in our comment section of either our ChillPoint video or the CheckPoint one that covered it, and let us know how the food was.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, like, yeah, like, I mean, I'm assuming the Pokemon Oreos are just Oreos, so they probably taste good
Yeah,
because Oreos taste good.
Yeah. And you
Uh,
don't have to do the Oreo one. I'm just thinking of the Krispy Kreme one now.
all right, and then the coming up, there's a guy who um challenging. It's a dentist who challenges people to games of Smash, and if you win, if you win, then you get your dental checkup for free. Apparently,
Yeah. If you lose, you have to clean his teeth.
I guess.
That's
Yeah,
a
maybe
lie, clearly, but
maybe you have to pay
it
like
would
double.
be really funny. Probably nothing changes, honestly. I did enjoy the discussion at the end of the episode about like um Pokemon and how the doctor must be really good at Smash.
Yeah, yeah.
Such
I mean,
an
he's got to be like there's a certain minimum level. Like if he gets schooled over and over and over again, he's not gonna make any money, right? So, I mean, it's only for the cleanings. There's if you ever whenever you go to the dentist these days, it's always like a whole bunch of different charges. But
I mean, I feel like if you go to the dentist and you need like a root canal really badly done, you're not gonna be in a good state to do a good game of Smash.
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
But like a cleaning, you're gonna at least be there.
Right, right. All right, let's jump on to some stories that we didn't do. Starting with this game that seems awesome as somebody who had hamsters when I was a kid. There's a game coming out called Hamster Maze. And wait, I think I may have to actually like put the YouTube video in cuz it's pretty awesome. It's apparently the developers were inspired by like YouTube videos that people have made of like uh, uh like hamsters going through weird like elaborate designs.
Mm-hmm.
And so they basically made so it's this combination of like it's like racing game where you like train you have like a little hamster who races around and he does and you have to but the trick then you have to like train the hamster depending and on like the so he tries to go through and then there's another hamster that's like his rival.
Yeah.
And for one thing, the way the hamsters move and everything is adorable. And then also, but then see when they're done. So look, he lost. The other hamster won. But then you have to go train. And they have this like whole training area. There's like a sauna. there's like the workout area. So you gotta like train your hamster.
I hope this game is good because aesthetically it's amazing. I love the little maze that looks like you've basically crafted your own handmade maze.
And you like work on the wheel.
In fact, I
and
hope you
level
get
up.
to change the maze around yourself. How many hamsters did you have as a kid?
I only ever had 2 hamsters. I had three mice, and then I got 2 hamsters. And no, wait, no, I had 3 mice, and then I had 1 hamster that turned out to be pregnant when I got her. And
Oh no!
so then I had more hamsters, and I kept 2 of them. So I ended up with 3 hamsters. I had Fuzzbutt, which was the mom, and
excellent.
Tribble was one of the baby was the female baby, and Zot was the other one. And I think we figured out we decided that like Fuzzbutt was a short hair teddy. They were teddy bear hamsters, which are like awesome. They're like just big fluffy hamsters. But Fuzzbutt was a short hair, and Tribble was a short hair, but Zot was a long hair. So we figured Dad must have been a long hair hamster. There must have been some long hair hamster genes somewhere back there. But anyway, they were awesome.
Yeah, we only had like the only hamsters I've ever played with were like the class hamsters and whatnot, which were fun. I kind of wish we'd done like a maze thing as a class activity. That looks like that would have been cool.
To be honest, like mice are pretty good at maze. Hamsters are not great at mazes, I don't think. I mean,
is that the point?
I'm open to see. Part of the problem with hamsters is because they're burrowing animals. Their eyesight is not great, and so like a mouse, if you put a mouse like on a table, it will be like start investigating things and looking around and doing cool stuff. And they're kind of fun that way. Or you could have like one on your shoulder and kind of like hang out and do stuff. Hamsters, if you put them like on a table, they'll just like start running in a direction and fall off because they can't see very well.
They can't tell.
Anyway, so you got to be a little bit careful, but they're adorable and awesome. And teddy bear hamsters are the best kind of hamsters. Don't at me.
I'm not gonna. I don't think anyone can, Paul. You're not on social media.
Haha, it's my trick. And dwarf hamsters might seem cute, but they're actually nasty. Dwarf hamsters are like the smallest type of hamsters, and they are mean.
It's the thing, right? I see videos online all the time of things like ferrets, and they look really cute when somebody has handled them, but I've been bitten by too many of them to want to interact with one. But you can make anything really cute on the internet.
Yeah, dwarf hamsters in the wild, they actually like hunt like in packs, and they'll hunt like a rabbit. Like they'll just go after. Just rah!
That's not how I understand the animal kingdom to be.
They're nasty. Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Anyway, there's actually, speaking of adorable animals, there's also a game coming out called, wait, where's the link for it? Puppies and Kittens, which, I mean, I get that's what the game is going to be about, but it seems even when you're making a game about puppies and kittens, just calling it Puppies and Kittens seems a little pandery. But still, it's a game about puppies and kittens.
Look, there's a void for the Nintendogs.
Exactly.
Series of people on Switch.
This is coming out for Switch. It is, explicitly inspired by Nintendogs.
Yeah, I believe the last Nintendogs game to come out was like at the beginning of the 3DS life cycle. So it's been a long time.
I like the on Nintendo Life, the description is like, we can now confirm that the game has both puppies and kittens in it, and they look
Right.
adorable. It's
Yeah,
like, this is the kind of
that part the
hard-hitting
article's like,
reporting we need.
well,
Sure, there
so
are puppies, but are there kittens? Are they
I
adorable?
hope they do a lot with the kittens, because I don't know if you've played Nintendogs, but Nintendogs also had, at least the one I played, there was like a cat's portion where you could eventually get a cat, and the cat you could play with a little bit, but you can't take the cat out for walks like you could with the dog, and you couldn't put the cat in shows like you could with the dog. Like, the game was very much more about the dogs, which
Nintendogs
fair,
and also some
honestly,
cats.
but yeah.
So yeah, lots of adorable animal stories this week for some reason that Graham and Beach decided not to report on.
Well, we know the two of them are monsters, and
Yeah,
we
they had to
can't help
report on
that,
all the bummer news rather than all the cute animal
right?
news.
Yeah, but that means we get to report on all the fun news.
It's true. That's true.
Like the next one. The next one's super fun.
Right. There's a new Lego set coming out. So the Mario Lego whole thing has been very successful. There was a Mario. There's like the Mario or there's the, I don't know if it was first, but there's like the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo TV thing that was super cool, where it would actually do stuff. There was like Mario. There was the thing with like Mario who would like talk, and then he started like asking for Luigi. That was Lego, right?
Yeah, there's the weird Lego set stuff that has the Mario with the chip in it, so that when you bounce on certain things, it makes certain specific noises and stuff.
Right, and then they updated it to be like Luigi when they went first Luigi. Anyway,
that was a weird thing that they should not have done like that.
There's a new Mario Lego set coming out, and it's a big question mark as to what it is. And also, it's a big question mark. As in, it's like a question mark block but I mean, the real troll move would be that there's nothing, like it's just the question mark block. Everyone is assuming that there's something inside the block.
Well, I mean, they do show it. If you watch the video, it's really neat because it's all in Mario 64 sets with the little castle and stuff.
Oh,
but the characters are like really tiny, made of blocks, and the block like has a swivel thing so that like these sets come up like a display piece on it. It's actually really cool looking.
When I looked at this story, it was still, what's in the box? They hadn't actually revealed it yet.
Yeah, the story came out like yesterday, I think.
Originally. Yeah. So, okay, we know now what's in the box.
It's a really
Mario
neat
64
piece.
stuff. But it's like more of a display piece than an actual like.
Yeah, it's more of a display piece thing. Like what I really like is they do have like a little Princess Peach, but when you look at her, she's just kind of like pink and then like a little bit of blue for the thing on her thing, and then like this yellow piece that's like supposed to be hair. Like,
but it's like
kind of look.
But it's not actually like a little Lego figure. It's like a super.
No, it's just kind of representative.
Yeah. It's a very like stripped down version of the. It's like super simplified model. I like that.
Yeah, it's neat. I still got to put together my NES and TV thing because I haven't fully done that yet.
I didn't know you had one. That's cool.
Yeah, I managed to get one a while back.
Somebody made a mod for that, or instructions for how to use the blocks from that, and I think maybe a few extra things to make it into like a Game Boy as well, like a Game Boy that's got the same thing on the screen and stuff. Which I thought is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I look at this question mark block set and I'm like, that's really cool. When are you going to bring me my Zelda Lego? This is neat. Give me the thing that I want. Come on, Nintendo.
Well, here's something that you might want. Gengar.
I do actually.
Build-A-Bear. You know, we've we've talked about Build-A-Bear before, and usually, um, more optimistically than ends up being the case. You know, we get all excited about like, oh wow, you could do all sorts of customization thing, and then it turns out to be just, oh, it's just like a stuffed animal thing. It's not actually that impressive, but you can get so there's a new the in there so Build-A-Bear has a Pokemon line that they've already done a bunch of Pokemon, and now they're adding Gengar, I guess, for starting to Halloween times. And not only is it Gengar, it's Gengar with like kind of a dapper
It's
suit.
got a coat.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure Gengar doesn't really wear, but I guess they wanted to give him something.
So Gengar also has 5 voice tracks, and if you go to the Build-A-Bear site proper, you can there's a play button that will play the sound of it, and I've been playing it before we got online with each other. I was playing it quite a few times because it's he says Gengar every single time, but there's slightly different inflections, and there's one at the very end that just kind of sounds like someone coming into the room being like hi, but it's Gengar.
I was
And
gonna say, like,
it's
what
cute.
what would you what
He
what
laughs a
what would
lot
he
too.
say when all he says is Gengar? But now I want the page where I can play it. The
Yeah, you have
sound.
to go to the order page, and then it's the
Gengar with 5-in-1 sound. Oh, his coat is sold separately. Oh man.
yeah.
I
That's
guess you,
Build-A-Bear for you.
I guess you could then put the coat on other things though. Gengar! 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 Gengar!
See,
Gengar!
it's adorable. I basically want to make it my ringtone.
Gengar! Nice.
Gengar.
Doop 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 doop.
Good stuff.
Boop a doop boop boop. Story. So there's story about the a new pack of RPGs that's coming out for or I guess RPG re-releases that's coming out for Switch called Prinny Presents NIS Classics Volume 2, because apparently there was an NIS Classics Volume 1. So Volume 1 came with Soul Nomad and Phantom Brave, which apparently are NIS classics that I have never heard of. And Volume 2 has 2 more games that I have never heard of.
Yep.
Makai Kingdom Reclaimed and Rebound, and ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man.
Yep.
Which doesn't seem like much of a contest, really. If one guy's called Unlosing Ranger, how hard is that going to be for as a fight?
I mean, to be honest, I only really know what a Prinny is, and I thought they came from Disgaea, but maybe NIS uses them as a mascot more than I'm aware of.
The picture is like the I think the picture is a Prinny that you were thinking of, though.
Yeah,
It's like
the penguin.
the little penguin. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Unlosing Ranger is the favorite in that fight. Also, Dark Death Evil Man seems like a bad dude. It's maybe somebody who you don't want to mess with. So who knows? Maybe Dark Death Evil Man is just has just had issues with his name and is actually a really nice guy. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, even when the book is Dark Death Evil Book.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing in this article that Nintendo Life did is that they said that they did not particularly like Volume 1. in their review of it.
Mm.
So I, I at least for Switch, because they're gonna be reviewing the Switch game, and that I hope Volume 2 is better. I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, their review for the Volume 1 of the Switch game was 5 out of 10.
Ugh. It's the bad porting.
So take that as you will.
Uh, So, there's been a big surge in video game sales on the like secondary market. High value games. There's whatever the like original Mario. There's like a Mario Brothers cart in its original packaging from like some original printing that was messed up in some way that went for hundreds of thousands of dollars, that kind of stuff. So there's been kind of a surge in video game high end video game sales, and as with any collectible, getting those appraised is important. And so there's a company called WATA, WATA, that does gradings for video games and sort of certifications for whatever silver grade or gold grade or whatever for like or I think actually they use A plus and stuff. So for whether it's been damaged or all that kind of stuff. But inherent in the idea that there's a company that does the gradings for the thing is, and this is often not like, I feel like maybe people don't sort of explicitly say this, but it's sort of assumed that the grading company isn't selling, like people at the grading company aren't selling games on the secondary market that they themselves have graded.
Yeah, that seems
because
like
then that seems like a conflict of interest.
A little bit.
And in fact, so the company itself hasn't been doing this, but the co-founder of it has apparently been selling tons and tons of games on eBay that are WATA graded games.
Has that been confirmed, or is it just that they've been accused?
I think,
because I know they were accused of it. I don't know if they were for sure found.
Yeah, I believe this is still out in the allegations area. Although apparently WATA has been hit for this previously. Another board member resigned from his position in January of last year for the same reason.
So chances are high.
So yeah, I guess be careful if you're trying to sell your fancy old games.
If you work for a grading company, get someone else to grade your stuff. Yeah. If you're gonna sell your games, if you're
and you probably should
buying.
I mean, even if you get somebody else to grade your games, it's still probably not right because you have like insider information as to what things are going to be, what the price of things are. I don't know, but I feel like that's probably not cool.
Don't go pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know who watching this show has hundreds of thousands of dollars to just throw at a highly graded old video game. But personally, I'm sure you could find 1,000 other things to buy that would be more worth it.
Mm-hmm. Sonic Colors Ultimate is having some issues with being super buggy. Now, the way that people have been countering this bug is apparently something that wouldn't necessarily happen that often in normal gameplay. But when it does happen, whoo, Nelly.
Oh, yeah, I watched the video. Do not watch that video
personally,
especially if you can't No,
Yeah,
we should not show
maybe
that
I
video.
won't show it because it's if you've got any kind of sensitivity to flashing lights and stuff, it's not good. Basically, the textures get all messed. It's thought that what happens is like it's caused by like or what triggers it is like loading into a level and then leaving and like loading into a different level or something like that without actually playing the level. I don't, or some sort of combination of that. And it's thought that what's happening is like it still has the old textures loaded in memory, and so loads the new textures in memory and starts to overflow the memory buffer or whatever, and starts getting corrupted textures in very very exciting ways that involve uh like just bright like splashes of light. It looks pretty
Yeah.
cool if you're in terms of just like there's bright splashes of flashing lights and you see like Sonic is like stretched out.
Yeah, I like the weird stretched out way that Sonic gets. It's very it's just incredible. It makes him almost triangular at certain points,
Yeah,
and makes you kind of wonder where his hitboxes are.
nowhere good is where they are.
Nowhere and everywhere.
Yeah, and like anything that's like a light or like emitting light in the stage, which is a lot of things, has this is like rather than like emitting light, it just has like a solid chunk of like polygon of its light that's like covering big chunks of the anyway.
Yeah.
Seriously messed up. Um but yeah. I
It
check out the video if you're but just keep in mind that it
yeah.
does have a lot of flashing stuff, so be careful about that.
It is interesting because it's like the Nintendo Life did the video and they said they had to do stuff to replicate it happening
Mm.
because in their review copies of playing the game normally they never encountered these things, so that this never came up in their reviews as a thing.
Yeah, there's
And
you have to sort of do a little bit of stuff that so by and large it probably wouldn't come up in normal operation, and even if it did, apparently like leaving and restarting the level
yeah,
will usually
leave
fix it.
come back in. If that for some reason doesn't fix it, leave the game and come back. But
So
like
it's not a show-stopping
it's
thing, but it's
it's
quite exciting.
it should happen almost immediately if it's going to happen in your levels. So it's like it's not like you get partway through and miss progress. I'm more curious to see if they end up fixing this, because it is something they should probably fix, but also if it's harder to replicate in happening, I don't know if they will.
Yeah. Uh, actually in other flashing light news, uh, Valorant is coming out with a new set of weapon skins, and Valorant, as somebody who doesn't play Valorant, Valorant is very exciting. If nothing else, for the amazing weapon skins that it has. Valorant has been doing the most interesting things with weapon skins I've ever seen, and it makes it seem like, wait, why aren't other games doing this? We could be doing this. We could have been doing this whole time. There's a whole thing where there's a whole set of guns that are actually little dragons.
Those were really cool.
There's a set of guns that are transparent with like like a it's like a glass. It looks like the gun is made out of glass, and there's like a snow globe like village inside.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I remember us covering that.
And it's just
this is different,
right? All these other games are like, we've got a gun that's camo patterned. Isn't that cool? And it's like, go away.
Camo is so passe these days.
So Riot is bringing out a new line of guns, and they are a collaboration with Zedd. Zedd. His name doesn't work very well in Canadian talk. But he is an EDM artist, and these are like EDM guns. The guns are like pure white, so it's like the gun. It's almost, it looks like almost like a 3D printed copy of the gun. So it's like whatever the shape of the gun is normally, it's that, except it's pure white with like LEDs, what look like LEDs on it. And it's a little hard to tell from the trailer whether it's like just stuff in the trailer, but it sounds like the guns actually like play EDM music when you were firing them.
Yeah,
And
the
like
trailer made it hard to figure out.
because the trailer, there's like music playing in the trailer, but it's not clear as to whether that's the music that's just playing to make the trailer sound cool or whether that's literally coming from the gun. But apparently there's like special sound effects for like when you reload and shoot and stuff that plays EDM stuff.
Yeah, it also like there's different animations for making the kills, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Is a thing they also did,
And
but it
there's like
sounds like
there's like the LEDs down the sides like do different patterns and stuff
yeah,
depending on what's going on.
the colors change around as you move, apparently, which sounds that on its own personally sounds pretty neat.
I mean,
If
it
you're
doesn't sound like
into
the best
shooty
kind of
games.
gun that you would want for like a super secret stealth mission, but I'm guessing that's not a big deal in Valorant.
I mean, the snow globe one, where it had the lights turning on in the little village inside your gun,
Right,
also
at
seemed bad.
It changed.
For several reasons.
The snow globe one changed at night, like depending on the
Yeah.
time of day in the game. It changed. It's just such a cool idea. It's like why make boring guns with different patterns on them when you can make crazy cool guns? Life is Strange to True Colors, which is the next edition in the Life is Strange series, which you may have seen Heather or Cam and Corey play on.
I was gonna say I don't think I was on that one.
You might have seen Cam and Corey play on Talking Simulator. It's a very it's a neat game where you're sort of, it's not so much like action packed. It's more sort of, it's not quite like a walking simulator type thing, but it's more sort of a storytelling.
It's a heavily narrative game.
Yeah, and
with psychic powers.
And part of the whole thing about the game though is that you're making important decisions along the way that really change the outcome of what happens. It's a little bit, not to, this sounds insulting, but it's a little bit like one of the like David Cage games, but good.
I mean, it's only insulting because you said David Cage's name.
But like, but you're sort of making decisions, and like, for instance, making decisions about relationships that people have and all different things like that, which is cool. I believe this is an official thing that is being released by the company to go along with the game, is a Twitch extension. So you can basically do Twitch plays, you play Life is Strange, where, so instead of like, people have done things where they're like, vote in chat to how I should answer this question. This actually ties into the game directly. So people can do like a Twitch plays thing where it's like democracy mode and people vote on the solution. You can also set it to like suggestion mode where it'll tell the player what chat suggests and the player can ignore it.
I do like that mode because sometimes it's nice to know what the audience wants to do without having them yell a bunch in chat and not really being able to tell. But
it's nice
also
to know what the audience...
ignore what they want.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to ignore what you want.
It's like you're ignoring the chat, but you want to know what they want. So you know that you're ignoring it. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't tell from the article if this was to a specific version of the game, like, because I imagine PC version would work with this easily, but I don't.
Yeah,
this game's coming out to like Switch, and I'm like, I doubt
it's going to be the PC.
It'll work
version,
on the Switch,
assume,
but I don't know if it would work on any of the console stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably gonna have to be the PC version.
But still, it's actually kind of neat to see a company that is part of making the game make the extension
Mm.
for Twitch rather than
I was,
uh,
yeah,
hoping someone else does.
I was a huge fan of I was a huge fan of Choice Chamber, at least conceptually. I felt that the actual game that they made had some issues just with the like actual like control and stuff. But it was super fun to play. Uh, to sort of
Uh,
the more kind of like that sort of chat interaction stuff is a super neat idea. Yeah, as Chandra says, if you don't get the chat's opinion on things, you might mistakenly do what chat wants.
yeah.
And then
I
where
do
would you
know.
be?
I do know that. I think there's a video. I don't. Laura did a video. I think did an accessibility video for this game um, today, but also was tweeting earlier today about how there's a part where when they sing the character sings a song, none of the subtitles in the game tell you what any of the words are or even have like the name of the song come up. It's just like person sings because apparently there's like a weird thing about copyright lyrics on top
Interesting.
of stuff, and I just think that's pretty interesting from a process of making a
It's
game point of view. That it doesn't make
yeah,
sense to me
that's odd, but yeah,
that you could license a game for a video game, but you wouldn't have the lyrics show up in your subtitles.
yeah, who knows?
But
Stuff is weird sometimes. Do 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 do. Um, and then so there's this is a story that wasn't in the episode. We probably would have covered it in Checkpoint had it not come out this morning. But I thought I'd mention it, and we might talk about this more formally on the next episode of Checkpoint. Although, because it came out today, it's a little hard sometimes, to do this thing. But
I mean, maybe more info will kind of tease out about it. And
but this is an update on the platform we're on, Twitch, and they're trying to deal with the sort of hate raids and all that kind of crap that has been causing such issues lately. And Twitch is apparently suing two people who are very prominently have been both doing these hate raids and also like
building
avoiding
bots and
bans
stuff.
and running thousands of bots and all this stuff. They were able to figure out that it was these two people were doing at least some of a lot of the stuff. And so they've actually filed like a real lawsuit against them, which for one thing, they can find out who they actually are. Interestingly, apparently, according to what Twitch thinks, anyway, these people are based in the Netherlands and Vienna, Austria, which is kind of odd. I mean, I don't know why. I guess that would be
I
odd,
mean,
but it just seems.
I guess we were expecting somewhere else.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, somehow it seemed. Yeah, I guess you expect it to be a North American thing, but there's terrible people everywhere, so that's nice.
Yeah. So it's nice to know that there's at least this happening. It's a step.
And it's an interesting kind of like everybody. There's a lot of push on Twitch, rightly so, to improve the tools that mods have to deal with this kind of stuff, and also coming up with better ways to stop people from avoiding bans and figuring out, detecting and getting rid of bots and all this kind of stuff. There's been a big push for Twitch to be doing stuff like that, which they've been trying, but they could be doing more. And also, to be fair to them, it is a very tough problem. It is a problem that many social media companies deal with, and it's a fundamentally very difficult problem.
It is a difficult problem. The issue that a lot of people have had, especially some of the people doing the day off Twitch boycott and whatnot, is that this problem, while it has kind of burst forth more recently into a more public space, has been an issue for minority streamers for a couple of years, including, I think, one of the people who works on their they have like a group of people who's supposed to be working on trying to make Twitch a safer place, and I believe a person on that group even got basically bullied off of Twitch or something as well. So it's I think there's more of
it's not a
exhaustion.
new thing. Yeah,
it's not new, and they'd like something done about it now.
But like it is a tough problem, and people we asking for different things and stuff. And what I find interesting about this is kind of a separate like line of attack, right? It's like there's all the technological solutions and things that need to be that would help to fix moderation and all this stuff. But then there's this other kind of end run around. It's like, or we could just sue them. And it turns out that that this is one of those situations where, like, usually you're not like, yay, large companies suing people, yay. But in this case, this is using the system for good, if not evil.
Yeah, and the internet is a complicated area. Like as we said, these people, one of them is supposed to be like in the Netherlands, and if Twitch is trying to sue from the U.S. or like you've heard the problems where someone's like, oh, I have an internet stalker, but I can't get my local police to do anything about it.
Right.
And it's like a lot of places aren't set up for it, and if you're not trying to set up anything, nothing gets fixed in the end.
And it's like, as long as the worst thing that Twitch can do to you is ban your account, stop you from being able to watch Twitch videos, it's like, whatever. But if we're talking real, like, now we're reaching through the computer monitor and going into the real world, and your financial well-being, your legal standing is going to get affected by this. Maybe that will give people pause.
Mm-hmm. Now, and to be fair, they are suing these people because of the bot making and the moving around bans and such. And if they knock the two of them out, that doesn't mean hate rating just necessarily goes away. It's not like, oh, we found the only two people in the world who hate things.
Wouldn't that be depressing though if it did? It's just like, it turns out these two guys were just doing everything. they work really hard. I mean, it's like there's the thing with Titanfall, where it's like there's apparently like one guy who's just basically destroyed Titanfall by hacking it.
Oh yeah, I guess there's that thing too. It's like maybe don't play Titanfall 2 right now because bad things happening with that.
But yeah, so who knows whether this will actually amount to anything? But I'm willing to, give Twitch their due when they do actually do something. Although obviously this can't be the end of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is one prong of their policy.
I hope there's more.
But
I do have hope that this is a good step. Hopefully. I'm going to say hope a lot now. Hope.
All right. And the other bit of news that is kind of a big deal possibly a big deal. How much of a big deal is a large amount of the dispute about it. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because maybe there'll be more. We'll talk about it more next week. But there has been at least a preliminary result from the Apple Epic kerfuffle, hootenanny, doings that happened, where and it's one of these situations where neither side got exactly what they wanted, but theoretically some fairly serious some sort of real things may have occurred in terms of policies that need to be changed. Theoretically, there's a situation where Apple will have to allow third parties to link to payment services. I don't think they can actually get people to buy things from other companies in game, but
in game. But
they
you can
now
tell people.
But they can now like link to and tell people that things exist, whereas previously you couldn't even mention it. And that could actually be a big deal. But it isn't. It isn't like Epic won everything. For one thing, they have to. What I like, the court ruled that the 3 months or whatever it was that Epic was in the Epic store selling stuff from their store using their system, violating Apple's policies, or for the however much time, and then Apple kicked them out. The court ruled that Apple kicking them out and that at least the policy as it was at the time, they clearly violated, which they did, and they have to pay Apple damages for that. So it's hard for Epic to say that they won when they have to pay Apple like $3.5 million.
Yeah.
But Apple also lost in this aspect. But also Apple, the court said that Apple does not have a monopoly. They just have to do this thing. So it's complicated and it's possible. And what's funny about this, what I like about this is depending on different news outlets or different, tweets or whatever, people who have different feelings about the Apple versus Epic can kind of twist. This is one of those stories that can be kind of twisted either way in terms of who won and who lost,
Mm-hmm.
And so different headlines are like, Apple wins, Epic wins, Apple forced to do this, Epic has to pay all this money, blah 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 blah. So.
Yeah. In the end, not much has changed, in my opinion, of the fact that we watched two companies have a money fight and one try to leverage its entire fan base to go and pretend to be the hero.
Yeah.
And when a company does that, you should be wary.
And also
whoever you like better, I don't care, but you should be wary of a company that tries to say, "Hey, this other company is makes more money than us, even though we make a lot of money. Please tell them how they're awful and we are the hero."
Also, of course, Apple may also like appeal stuff, or Epic could appeal stuff.
Yeah,
either side could be appealing some of these rulings too. So who knows? So we'll see what happens with that. If it's interesting, I guess there may be a more cohesive explanation of that next week, if Graham can be bothered. If it's
we'll find out.
Yeah. And I think that is all the stories.
I mean, that's everything we had. I mean, there's always going to be something we miss, I'm sure, to somebody in some way. But this is what we had, and if you want to make sure your stories are known, get on Twitch, make a YouTube video. There are platforms out there. Do your own shit.
Wow. Okay. Thought
what?
You were gonna be like,
I don't have to be responsible for everything else. Other people can make things.
I thought you were gonna be like, let us know, but no.
No, I don't want to know about them. I already do enough work. I don't need more.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's coming up next. Because what's coming up next is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's right, not Friday Night Paper Fight, which would normally be Friday night. But we're doing, getting ready and set up for the PPR. So no Friday Night Paper Fight, but it's okay. You still have Wheeler with you on Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And you also, he's going to be here on Saturday. And also, he's going to be here on Saturday afternoon. So I hope you like Van Wheeler. Because, I mean, I hope you do because he's a cool guy. But if you do like him, then you're in luck. Because there's going to be a lot of Wheeler coming
Wheelers
up.
this weekend.
It is the Wheeler Canned. No, it doesn't work that way. But then on Sunday, it's Innistrad, the Midnight Hunt PPR for, pre-release Innistrad Midnight Hunt, which Ben Wheeler will also be on, but he will be joined by many other people. Should be super sweet.
It's at 11 a.m. So even though you see the word midnight, and even though I definitely advocated for it, but not very hard because they still are my friends, that it should just start at midnight.
No, you want
they're doing it at 11 a.m.
The hunting happens at midnight. We want to be done by then so we can be like at home in our houses with the doors locked. We don't want to get hunted by werewolves.
I thought you were doing the hunting.
I mean, when one side is werewolves and the other side is us, I'm pretty sure we ain't the ones doing the hunting.
But you could be a werewolf.
So yes, we're very excited about this because it is going to be our first pre-release in person for a very, very long time. So I've been spending a lot of time over at the office getting it all sorted out, remembering opening up old projects and being like, what did the old pre-release even look like? Oh, right. I don't have to have these boxes everywhere. This is great.
It's still a little restricted. It's not. It's gonna look fairly much the same from our old stuff, I think. But not having guests and still having a limited amount of people at the moon base and in a room.
Yeah, we are taking things fairly slow, but we are trying to figure out how as normal as possible.
Ooh, this means we can turn off the lights when it's nighttime. That's what happens in that game, right? It's like specifically daytime and then sometimes nighttime.
It does, yeah. It goes through day and night, yeah. So yeah, just
we'll turn off the lights and make everyone.
Nobody can see everything. Nobody can see anything in the dark. We'll just go to like night vision, so the audience can still see, but the players can't.
Yes, I'm for this.
And then on Monday, it's more Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, followed by the Can't Draw Horses Club with Corey and friends.
Am I on that one? I think I'm on that one.
Ooh.
I should find out what we're doing that day if I'm on that one.
And then Dice Friends is going to be, I believe, our final stream of
A Night to Remember.
Night of the Living Dead.
Right. No. Why did... man, I screwed it up. I was like, aha, I remember.
So we've got like, I don't know, 5 of the 12 pieces. So we'll probably should get like 1 or 2 more pieces of the staff of Waterdeep.
Would be good enough.
And then we'll go fight some liches.
I was telling Beej that it sounds like your staff, because it's just a bunch of chunks that you're sticking together, right? Is essentially just those like smelly markers that you like attach.
Yeah,
so you just
kinda,
have, like,
yeah. The picture of it looks like that. It's just like a bunch of sticks that are all like stuck to you. Yeah, it seems like a weird way to make a staff. Not gonna lie, it seems odd. And then on Tuesday, James, Uno, and Serge are back with Minecraft. I believe Uno is back from his vacation, so they'll be continuing with their 100% run. Cam and Corey will be looking at something on Talking Simulator, and Ben and Adam will be looking at something on Let's Nope. Probably
did they finish?
Yes.
I mean, I know that's a shorter game that they were playing, so I'm not surprised. I
don't know. Or maybe they just didn't tell James what they're doing.
Oh, that's possible. A lot of us do that. Me included.
They've got a little bit more in Nightmares too.
Oh, okay.
Or Little Nightmares.
Then maybe they'll just do that.
Which is, I haven't played Little Nightmares 2, but I have played Little Nightmares 1, and it's very creepy.
Yeah. Corey and I streamed that one.
The makers of Little Nightmares really zeroed in on that, like, you know, deep-seated, like, a lizard brain, like, images and movement that is just like, this is wrong. No, don't like this. Don't like this. Don't like this. His arms are too long. His arms are too long. Don't like it. Don't like it. It's like, just like a visceral reaction. More so than like ghosts or whatever. It's just like, there's something very wrong about this. I don't like it.
Have you seen the mobile game? I think it's
of Little
no.
Nightmares?
There's a specific mobile game. It might be called like Littler Nightmares or something.
Oh, I haven't.
But they're like little, very tiny, and very cute looking. Like the yellow raincoat character is very, very tiny and cute. And every time I see screenshots of that game, I'm like, I should play that. I shouldn't play that. I'm being conned into playing a creepy game.
Little raincoat person is gonna die.
Oh, a lot. That's just what happens in that game. Everybody's arms are too long, and everyone else is a giant, and you think you're safe until you eat a rat, and then you're like, am I also bad? I'm a monster too, aren't I? I'm a monster child. Game's creepy.
All right, let's thank all the people who subscribed during the stream. JS1813 for 54 months. Thank you.
Helen for 22 months. Welcome back.
Happy birthday, Jupiter Starlight, for 3 years. Awesome.
We had Two Cat Lady Katie. Oh, that's a fun name to say. Two Cat Lady Katie for their 2nd month. Welcome back.
Katie with 2 cats. Surf Downstage for 27 months. Thank you very much. And Fairbender with the 400 bits. And Gap Filler sneaking in with the extra bits there. Thank you, everybody, so very, very much for joining us. Wheeler will be here with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice in just over an hour. But for now, we will talk to you later.
Bye.